The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences made a big announcement this week, and that is for their Oscars show this year in 2022, they are returning to having a Master of Ceremonies host the show. Well, it's about damn time. 2 years ago, with a little bit of controversy, they made a decision that they weren't going to have anyone host the show. They were just going to broadcast it, do some voiceovers, let a bunch of different stars come up to introduce other stars. And the last 2 years, they have had the worst ratings in the history of the Oscars broadcast. No Master of Ceremonies, and the show really stunk. So for 2 years, every time they announced, no, we're being super cool, we're not going to have an MC, I knew what the results were going to be. And that is because anytime you have an event without a professional host, someone to keep it moving, keep it running along, and to bring some energy and to be able to recap what's going on, to add a little bit of fun along the way, you can be sure that you're going to end up with a boring production. So after 2 years of saying no more hosts, and let's face it, the reason they did it is there had been some controversy and the Oscars were a little bit worried about putting anyone in as host, only to have something come up that maybe they could be looked down upon or that they could be canceled for some reason. So instead of getting anywhere near controversy, they just weren't going to have an MC. This happens in the corporate world because companies often say, well, we can save money if we just let one of our people host the show. It's really common that a company who has like a customer event, they'll just say, well, we'll get one of our salespeople to host it because how hard can it be? And that salesperson, she has a great personality, even if she has never hosted a conference before. Well, this year, the Academy Awards is going to be hosted not by one, not by two, but by 3 people. And this is the year of the woman because all 3 hosts are women and they are going to do a fantastic job. Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes are going to take on the role. Now, you might say putting 3 people in, that's weird. No, they've done it before. 35 years ago, the Academy Awards had multiple hosts. And I think the only 2 times the Academy Awards were horrible, well, that's not true. I'm sure there were some other years that they were horrible, but were during the years they decided, oh, we're not going to have a host. And having 3 hosts actually is brilliant because all 3 of these women have different personalities and they'll take on different roles during the course of the broadcast. So in March of 2022, get ready for what will probably be a memorable Academy Awards ceremony. Thank you for putting a Master of Ceremonies back in charge of driving your event. And for people who plan corporate events and association conferences, don't think that you're saving money by not having a Master of Ceremonies. What you're really doing is possibly taking away some of the excitement and the ability to move your event along. And certainly, if anything goes wrong, you want to make sure that there's someone there to reel everything back. The Master of Ceremonies, in my opinion, is more important than your keynote speaker. Having a great host of any type of show really does make the difference. Now, I got really excited when I heard that the Academy Awards were going to have a host, or in this case, multiple hosts again this year. And I hope that this message goes out to anybody who plans any type of an event. Don't wing it. Don't just say, oh, it'll be fine. Or you might end up with what the 2020 and 2021 Oscars were, which were boring and very few people really tuned in. People who tuned it in left the show because there was nothing there. Now, you might be saying, Thom, who was your favorite host of the Oscars? Well, as a little kid, I remember Bob Hope always seemed to be the host of the Oscars. Bob Hope hosted the Oscars more than any other star. However, my favorite comes in number 2 with 9 times hosting the Oscars, and that was Billy Crystal. You know, if you think back to the 90s when Billy Crystal dominated hosting the Academy Awards, think about how much fun he made the Academy Awards. That's what I hope that Regina and Amy and Wanda bring to this year's show. I hope they bring some fun. And again, if you're planning a corporate event, make sure that you hire an MC who can stand up there and get this going. This is not the time to say, well, our board president can do it. Not if he doesn't want to do it, not if she doesn't have experience doing it. Make sure that you have 1 or more people who are serving in that role. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences learned after 2 years, and there's been a lot of things written about the reasons those last 2 years were so horrible. And many experts have pointed to the fact that they took the easy way out by not having a host, and therefore they took the path directly to pretty bad broadcasts. So I am a really big fan of Master of Ceremony. Yes, I work as an MC for corporate and association events, but I also attend a lot of conferences, and I love to have an experience at a conference where I say, wow, that was awesome. And usually that has to do with having a great person in that role of MC. I want to feel like they have put some thought and some effort and that they have invested in making sure that the conference is going to be fantastic. So what are your thoughts? Who was your favorite host of the Academy Awards? And if you're a meeting planner, what do you think about my opinion that the best conferences have great MCs? I'd love to hear your 2 cents. Go ahead, leave a comment down below. Thanks, everybody.